is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Last we will reveal ourselves.
I have a bad feeling about this.
You are now tuned into LightSaber Radio. If you only knew the power of Darth.
Here it comes. Let's go.
You are now tuned into LightSaber Radio. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello there.
We're here, we're back, and welcome to LightSaber Radio, your weekly hive of scum and villainy for anything and everything Star Wars. Thank you for joining us for this very special episode of LightSaber Radio, where we are delighted to welcome our guests, Jacob and Tommy from the 1313 podcast.
What's up? What's up, guys?
It is an absolute pleasure to have you guys with us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us. Pleasure to be here.
Oh my goodness. This is exciting.
They seem way more excited than I was. I just woke up. Like, what the heck? Just everybody relax. Hey? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, Commander, been up for like the past what? I've been
These guys are on my level.
We're rolling.
As is our tradition, I would like to pose to all of you guys this week's Hothbreaker.
Oh no,
It-
here we go.
It is your first day at Star Wars University. What major and minor are you choosing?
Oh no. That's a good question. That's a good question. What type of majors are there in the Star Wars universe?
Yeah. What
I know
do we
there's
have?
political arts. I know that's got to be something there.
Yeah, there's definitely politics.
And Thrawn is the teachers
Right.
for art.
Anakin's the tactician teacher.
I'll probably just stick to what I'm doing in college now, electrical engineering through ROTC, because that would mean I'm part of whatever military is in the area, and I'm working on spaceships and stuff.
Nice.
I have absolutely no idea. I have to think about this. I've never wow. I would like to major in disintegration. I think I would probably go with something like being a pilot or something like that, like flying. That'd be super cool. And then my minor would be in protocols, because if I don't have Jackson with me to do protocols, then I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'd probably minor in that.
Fantastic.
Political science,
Yep.
so I could rise up, make my own government, screw Palpatine, and then a minor in geology, so I know a lot about sand, just in case Darth Vader comes after me.
That was beautiful. That was poetic.
I'm ready.
CJ, do you have any guesses? Do you have any idea?
Some sort of mechanic. My major would be in mechanics because I love working on stuff, and I would love to be a part of a crew that would build like the YT 1300s or the X-Wing classes or the
you
A-Wing
could work
classes.
with the Martez sisters. That'd be great.
Yeah, no, I'm okay. They seem to get in a lot of bad situations. Like, they got pretty messed up by the Bad Batch. I'd rather not.
Yeah.
I'd rather just be on a base somewhere and being like, yeah, this is the X-Men. I don't fly them. No. Oh, no. I just work on them. And my minor would probably be in tactician. Like, I'd love to be in a war room, like planning out stuff for the.
I can see that.
The Rebel Alliance. Screw the Empire.
Of course, you'd be on the Rebel Alliance.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Kyle.
It's all right. We'll win in the end.
Will you?
You guys are just resilient, so you keep coming back with new names.
I'd probably go for the same thing I went to school for. I'd probably get it in theology. That way I could work in the Jedi library and know all the information. I would want to know everything, because in that way it'd be easier to conquer everything if I know everything. And then I'd probably minor in, I don't know, psychology, some type of psychology, so I can train clones. Like, I could be on the clone training team. I think that would be cool.
Palpatine.
Yeah, you're practically Palpatine.
Oh my gosh, these are some super creative answers. I love this. Me personally, probably quite easy to guess. I would major in some kind of like lightsaber combat, lightsaber study, something to do with lightsabers and lightsaber fighting. And then I think, like Kyle, I'd minor in some kind of like literature, history. I think because the Jedi archives, I could lose myself in there for days. I really could. Oh my goodness.
I could fall asleep in there for days.
Yeah.
Those
Oh my god, I
chairs
bet
do
the
look comfy, though.
ambience. Ooh.
That deleted scene with Obi-Wan
Dude,
sitting there
are you
on
kidding
that
me?
chair, it looks comfy. I'd fall asleep.
Bro, I could not sleep in the Jedi archives. I'd be scared of that lady walking around. I hate that lady. She's
Jocasta Nu.
Why do you hate
Jocasta
Jocasta
Nu.
so much? This
You
is
show me.
This
If
has
they're
been
knowing
like
the
this since
records,
the
they know.
beginning.
If they're knowing the records, it doesn't exist. I'll piss off. Bro.
See, I was going to say, if Kyle took over the Jedi archives, I know that his first job would be fire her. Straight up.
I wouldn't
Drag
just fire her.
outside.
I'd
Catch
kill
a
her.
lightsaber. She would catch a lightsaber. What are you
I
talking
would kill her,
about?
and then I would steal her lightsaber because she got the only
No,
light
not a
bulb?
lightsaber. A lightsaber gun.
Yeah. So ain't it like a bowcaster almost that shoots out lightsaber beams
She's
or
got a
something like that?
rifle. It's a rifle that's powered by a kyber crystal that shoots out like lightsaber bolts.
And you know, a suck, all you have to do is duck because it only can shoot like 6 times, and then she got to wait for it to recharge. So all you got to do is just get out of the way, and it'd be easy. And you could just kill her.
Leave.
She over there shooting at me. I'm just standing behind the thing, letting it hit, and then I just throw my lightsaber, and it swings around, cuts her head off, comes back to me. Yeah, so it'd be easy.
My man's been
Yeah,
thinking
see,
about
he's
this.
playing this out. Him and Garrison have sat here and probably thought about ways to kill her.
She's just annoying. Like I love that meme too. That meme is the greatest meme. The one where her and Obi-Wan, and it's like, if it's not in the archives, then it doesn't exist. And absolute is of the Sith.
That sounds like an absolute.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah. And then she has the little red lightsaber, and it's like, all right, she been a Sith the whole time.
She looks like a Sith, bro. She looks scarier than Palpatine.
She looks like she was like
Yeah.
giving Dooku information behind the Jedi's back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's her look.
Straight up.
Especially
If you
the
read
way
the
she
book
was talking
Dooku, she
about
ain't
it.
in there, but the other chick that's the other chick that Cypher Davis's master is kind of like, you know what I'm saying, that his master's, I don't know, I think she's a Sith the whole time. I really do. Cause she screwed Cypher Diaz up. That dude he went nuts. And she was trying to get Dooku to do all kind of bad things.
Stealing the microphone for a second because there were some really interesting answers in the chat for our Hothbreaker. Commander Bly says that he would major in lightsaber dueling. Yes. And minor in Tauntaun culinary arts.
That's good.
Dylan says that he would major in history and minor in smuggling.
Okay,
Maybe that's
Dylan,
like a
I
kind
can
of
see- I can see that
underground
with how much
Supply
Dylan
chain
and
management.
with how much
Supply chain
Dylan and I
management.
talk
only
on
attain a
Instagram.
level 1313 on Coruscant.
With how much
Nick
Dylan
says-
and I talk on Instagram, I could see the majoring and the minoring in smuggling. I could.
Yeah. Nick says that he would minor in a Wookiee language so you could find a good wingman. Yeah. Oh, God, imagine the languages you could study.
And then
Yeah.
did you see
Dylan
Chris's
here is
major
talking about
minor?
anthropology.
Yeah.
Bro, you can't do a regular bachelor's. In order to do anthropology for Star Wars, it would have to be a doctorate. Like all that
Yeah,
stuff.
you'd have to be on like PhD
Yeah,
level.
they wouldn't be able to fit enough in 4 years. No.
I don't know if I'd want to study languages. I have a hard enough time speaking English. You know? I've been doing it for 44 years.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, just do what Chris is doing. Become a Sith, rule the galaxy, make everybody speak the same language. You just solve
Yeah.
so many problems.
Oh, no, Sith sorcery. Yeah, see, now he's going after Darth Xana right there.
And then Starship mechanics in the minor. I like that. That way he can fix his own stuff when it breaks down. He doesn't got to hire a guy like me where I'm terrified to even screw up one thing.
Could you imagine being a Sith mechanic like that? To be a mechanic
Just
for
the
the
guy in the
Sith?
shop. He's like, I have the force, but
Hey,
I
I can't fix this. You need a new power converter. Give me a new power converter. Well, you got to give me the money. Get a new mechanic.
There's just
Like
a
Darth
line-
Bane's mechanic.
There's just a
like-
line outside the door because they know they're going to die.
Disposable mechanics. Next.
You know, here at our show, we actually do teach Tuscan nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we're quite fluent.
Hey, screw you too, man. What the hell?
that's the nice thing is you can cuss in Tuscan, but you won't get hit with that copyright strike or anything like that. That ban hammer. So I can always be hitting people with whatever I want to say in Tuscan.
Hey, that's a good
Now
one.
you want me to? Now you're wanting me to go learn Tuscan?
Yes,
and I already tried. Like the 11-month-old in the house, he loves when I try to speak Wookiee to him. He giggles really hard. So now I have to learn another one. Tuscan, I love Tuscan so much.
Where is the Duolingo? Where is it? I need it.
Tuscan is just grunting in sign language. That's all it is.
Is it really?
I mean, essentially.
I love you, Kirsten.
Very simplified sign language.
Okay, I want to
check a new one.
I want to change mine. I want to open up a whorehouse on Tatooine somewhere. That's my career. That's what I want to do.
Oh yeah, why aren't there more of those? That's a fair point, dude.
Hey, they look like they're making a lot of money in there.
I don't know. There's
It's a sanctuary, actually. It's a sanctuary.
That's just a fancy word for brothel.
It's a house.
And brothel's just a fancy word for whorehouse. I mean, there's levels to
CJ language.
Well, fine.
I am gonna gently steer us in a slightly kind of different to move us away from the Twi'lek bathhouses. Thank you. CJ, I know you had something really interesting that you wanted to ask us, and especially our special guest, considering the last couple of episodes of Boba Fett and.
Yes.
The floor is yours.
My biggest question for everybody here is: if you were in Boba's position, how would you manage your crime empire? Would you run strictly protection? Would you run spice? Would you run arms? How would you run it? Or if you were in Boba's ear, how would you have him? What would you tell him if he started to listen to you? And killing isn't the immediate answer, Kyle. I have that as a no.
No.
Killing isn't the immediate answer.
No, we already heard Kyle's answer. He was running whorehouses.
Yeah, no.
But I kind of just want to know what you guys would do if you're in his position, or you were his right-hand man and you could give some influence towards him and he would actually listen to you.
We don't listen to Phoenix, so.
I think he's listening. I think he's just trying to do it on his own, personally. But
I would probably move in the way of illegal properties and things like that, because property makes a ton of money in Star Wars, and especially as we're seeing in Book of Boba Fett, he has he basically owns like the brothel, I guess, in Mos Espa. He owns Hutt territory, so the territories are his, and he can do with whatever he wants with them. So he can make tolls, he can make money off of it. The more land you have, the more power you have, and kind of conglomerate to it, I guess. Go with the good old Great Britain colonization route of take it all.
I think for me, I would probably go. I like Boba's. He has a very idealistic approach of being a crime lord, which doesn't really work. He's very like, oh, I'm going to show everybody respect. I'm going to be super nice to everybody. But then when he needs to talk business, like with the Hutts or with other people, the helmet goes on. He gets a lot more stoic. But I honestly think that in a galaxy post Return of the Jedi, it's probably a lot easier to be a crime lord, because without the Empire being so present anymore, you don't have to be so gung-ho about everything and so underground. Mm-hmm. So I guess the biggest thing is just to worry about other crime syndicates and stuff like that. So I think I would be more interested in having less operations that are really heavily protected. If the Tuscans can take over the train that the Pikes were doing for the spice, obviously it wasn't well protected enough. So if I have one hyperspace route, or just kind of the Hutts have a big empire, I'd like to keep it smaller. I'd like to maximize my profits in my smaller territory,
Okay. What about you, Charlie?
Me.
Yeah, I'm throwing you right on the hot seat.
I actually prepared for this. I didn't just sit and look at you with a blank face. I would do as little as I possibly could. I would take Fennec and be like, right, I like where you're going. I like your ideas. Go ahead, pop off, go and enjoy yourself. I would also put the majority of my time and effort into collecting a menagerie that was larger than Jabba's. I want every dangerous, horrible, terrifying creature I could possibly get, and I would pack that palace with horrific monsters. It would be brilliant, and I would love all of them and feed all of them, and they would never eat me. I'd have. I've thought this through.
You hope.
Yeah, I hope.
There's a lot of hope there. You go down there to feed. Next thing you know, it's wanting Charlie, and not the chicken you brought in.
I have lots of droids, but they're free and independent. They stay because they want to, not because I make them.
Okay, L3.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I would. It would be very much I won't do anything until somebody does something to me. But when I do act and when I do something, it's so terrifying. Nobody does anything ever again. Like I want to be feared. I want to be looked at and feared, but not ever lift a finger. That's what I would do.
What about you, Kyle?
Let's see here. I think the first thing I would do would shoot myself in the face if I was bold, because I'd have turned into a girl. Let's see. What I would do, I would probably, if it was me and I took over just Jabba, why stop at just Jabba? I would go kill all the Hutts. I'd just take out all the Hutts, take over their entire empire.
Yeah.
And then I would, like, on Tatooine, I would just, like, take everybody's land, everybody's property, because I would just take it. And because it's water. It's moisture farming. That's the only thing they do on Tatooine is moisture farm. So if you have all the water, you're in control of everything on the whole planet. So you ain't got to worry about nothing.
Then vicious.
I would get every single bounty hunter, crazy person that just likes killing everything, and I would hire them on. And I wouldn't let them in the palace. I'd build like huts outside of the palace so they have to stay out there because they can't come in there. They might try to kill me. And then, that's probably what I would do. And then I would just rule. I'd just rule. And anybody that got on my thing, I'd make sure that I got the Darksaber. Just so anybody that tried to mess with me, I'd cut them down with the Darksaber. If I was Boba, I would go after the Darksaber. Like, Mando, you got to give up the Darksaber. It's mine. Give it here. That's what I would do.
What about you, Garrison?
Okay, y'all are thinking very low. Okay, I'm starting off. Tatooine is just the beginning. Tatooine is just the beginning. After you get some money, get some revenue coming in Tatooine, you go to Coruscant and you start manipulating the stock market. You go Wolf of Wall Street in the Star Wars universe, bro. I'm talking pump and dump, microcap fraud. Like, bro, we're going ham. We're Tatooine is just the beginning. We're getting into white collar crime. We're screwing up the stock market. We're going Wolf of Wall Street in the Star Wars universe.
That's dope.
Wow.
I thought it through.
Because once you control Coruscant controls everything around it.
Exactly. Just combine your two favorite movies, Wolf of Wall Street and Star Wars. Now you're talking.
Well,
oh my goodness.
Personally, I would go after the Pikes. After I took out the Hutts, because that would be my first move, is to take out the Hutts. I agree with Kyle on that. I'd take out the Hutts. The Hutts are the biggest threat in Hutt space. Plain and simple. You take them out. You go after the Pike Syndicate. Start running the hell out of Spice. Don't be tied to it. Have somebody else run it. But run Spice. Spice is a commodity that a lot of people use. I'd find the guy who does death sticks, and I do death sticks too, just to throw those in. Come on now. Turn around, and I'd take over the arms. That way I have drug money coming in, I have weapon money coming in, and I have territory money coming in. Because with Hutts, you have all those planets. So you get all those territories on top of that. You can run Spice, you can run arms. I would turn around and just like in, I think it's The Last Jedi, that guy that was telling Finn and I can't remember her name, on the planet Canto Bight, that there's a company that does sell X-Wings to the Rebel Alliance and sells TIE Fighters and everything else to them. I would be that guy. I'd be, hey, the Rebel Alliance needs weapons? Boom. I got you.
You're an arms
I would
dealer?
literally grow from something small to something huge. And then I'd start taking over the planet.
All of you are so strategic. I'm just sat here being lazy. Brilliant.
And I think that's how I do it. And if I was in Boba's ear,
Commander Bly.
you need to kind of be a little tougher on the situation. You shoot one person, and that's all you do. No. Okay, that's it for my questioning.
That's fair.
So basically, you just like named off like just being a mobster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to Al Capone the situation. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's all you.
I have an Al Capone vibe going on.
Take over drugs, take over guns, and then kill everybody, and just
Anybody that questions me gets shot in the face, hands down. Just, I would hire Mando just for his disintegration gun. Just saying, that rifle, I want it.
Fair.
First person to go after though that would stop me is Luke Skywalker. That would be the first person I take out because I know he's gonna get all freaking gun ho happy and try to stop me. Boom, take.
How you gonna kill Luke, man? What kind of shit is that?
I was gonna say.
If he's gonna,
like
I'm a crime
anti-Star Wars now, man. We're about to kick your ass off the show, anti-Star Wars guy.
I'm not
Talk about killing Luke Skywalker.
About if he comes at me,
can't kill Luke Skywalker.
I am running his home planet. He's gonna come after me. I'm gonna need somebody to take him out. Plain and simple. It's not that I don't like Luke Skywalker. You know I love Luke Skywalker. It's the fact that if he's coming at me with that lightsaber, I'm gonna have to have some way to get back.
That's why you gotta get the dark saber.
Yeah.
Hey, I like Dylan's comment. He said, "Pump and dump Sith coin."
Pump and dump.
Okay. So what is next?
One of the things that I love talking to new people that I meet about, especially about Star Wars, is posing to them unpopular Star Wars opinions. I'm sure you guys have done this kind of thing on your show before, and I'm sure I've listened to a couple of your shows, and I get the feeling that, like us, you guys are a bit spicy, like a good debate, like a good little argument with each other. Occasionally. So I have rounded up what I consider some of the most controversial Star Wars opinions, and I would like you to argue with me your opinions for or against. I'm going to start us off with a classic. I'm going to start us off with a classic, 1313. Jar Jar is a genuinely good character.
Yeah. Yes.
You almost made Garrison throw up.
We're not friends now. Guys, I'm quitting LSR and joining 1313. We're besties now. Jar Jar is genuinely an excellent character.
Yeah, for comedic relief. That's it. That's the only thing.
Please defend your point. Please defend your point before Garrison explodes.
He says some very stupid and funny things. That's it. That's all he does. And he just looks goofy.
You said a boomba. Jojo, you said a boomba. We said a have a boomba.
Yeah, we got Boba in Star Wars. What else could you want?
Yeah.
Other than that, he's just like, he has. I mean, okay. Do you guys understand that he is the whole reason that Palpatine got into power?
Yeah, because he's easy to manipulate. Yep.
Because I mean, Palpatine walks in and says, "Oh, if somebody would just give me emergency executive orders, and then I can, and then I can get in this very, very fast." And Jar Jar is so stupid. He's like, "Okay." Then they go before the thing, and he says, "I say," and then next thing you know, Palpatine's in control, and the Empire takes control of everything. It was all because of Jar Jar.
I want to know who the hell gave him the ability to say that. Who let him stand up and speak?
Padme.
Because Padme left with Anakin.
Yeah, she gave him like a representation.
No, bad idea.
So glad.
It's Padme's fault.
I am not
bad.
I'm blaming Padme.
No, it's Palpatine because Palpatine manipulated the whole situation. He's the one that said, "And Anakin should take her back there and protect her and all blah 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 blah." He orchestrated everything. Palpatine is just he's like the smartest person ever.
Palpatine.
He's genius.
I am so glad to be in a space with people who agree with me that Jar Jar is a good character. First and foremost, my point. Jar Jar
he ain't a good character. He sucked, but he had his part.
He's brilliant.
He means well. He always tries to do the right thing. He just is easily manipulated. Yeah.
Even in the Clone Wars, he means well.
Yeah,
You shouldn't have put on that Jedi clothes.
He has no bravery. As soon as it got to the end, he's like, "I surrender." Like, he's just there. He's not good.
He just was he was that person that they had to put in to make the storyline okay, and he just filled in some comedic responses. Other than that, And I want to find the guy that designed the costume and punch that guy in the face. Like, dude, you couldn't have designed something better than that. I just like smack him just as hard as I can. Bow! You could have came up with a better design. Like all the wonderful Star Wars alien species that we have, and you created this thing.
Kyle,
Cool.
breathe.
They're
Breathe.
so, Guardians are cool. They're so unique compared to everything else in Star Wars. Because everything else is like green or it's hairy and it's what you'd expect. This we have like it's like a duck.
A hairless rat.
I'm sorry.
Looks like
I'm
an
cutting right
oversized
now.
hairless rat.
I'm cutting. Be gone with them. Get out of here.
You should get
Okay.
the bunga.
Okay. The next one. This is considering our crew here at LightSaber Radio. This is going to be a bit controversial. I actually agree with this one. Please don't shoot me. Clone Wars is overrated.
The movie?
The movie
Or the cartoon?
No,
cartoon.
the animated TV series. The
Oh, you're
animated TV
nuts.
series
You're nuts.
is
It's
overrated.
not overrated. It's
No.
great. It is wonderful.
No, it's
How-
overrated.
It is the
How
greatest
long is
thing,
it
one of the greatest things
Whoa.
ever
Captain
created.
Rex beat.
It's so
He better
overrated.
agree.
Oh,
not
no,
agree
man,
with
y'all are
it.
tripping.
So for
Bro,
me
it's
and Tommy,
overrated.
we grew up watching the Clone Wars every Friday
Thank
with
you.
our fathers, and it's like a very it's an emotional
Mhm.
connection to our childhood.
Yes.
That's our reason why we
Absolutely.
love it so much. So I would not say that it's overrated,
Or-
but that's just because we
Fair.
have a bias of growing up with it. So we can't really attack the subject from a non-biased point of view because we grew up with it and we love it. So to us,
Okay.
it's one of the best things ever.
How
So I
old are
would
you?
say
How old are you?
I'm 21. He's 19.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh, okay, so you
Wow.
are younger than us.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
that's
will
fair.
say too, like about the Clone Wars. I think that sometimes people hype up the show in its entirety a little too much. Because there are arcs and episodes of the Clone Wars that I sometimes I'll skip over if I'm rewatching the show.
Mhm.
But
The-
I think
the
that
first
looking
season-
at the show like for its strongest moments, I 100% feel like it's some of the best Star Wars ever.
Mhm.
But whether that's biased or not, I will leave up to interpretation. But
I didn't
do
take
think
that as
the
a
show is
bias.
great.
I didn't take that as a biased thing. The Maul arc, great. The Ahsoka's arc, the going up to all the way up until practically she leaves the Jedi Order, great arc. The first season, I don't know how they got approved for a second season after the first season. There wasn't much of an arc. There wasn't. Hold on, there wasn't. You started off with Yoda and a few clones, and it was very like and then it went into some other things. And season 2 it came a little bit different. It was a little bit better. Season 3, at the end of it, we got the Maul arc, the beginning of Maul. 4, we got more Maul. 5, we got more Ahsoka. 6, a little bit more Ahsoka, and then into what Anakin's going through. And then 7 came out as a banger. It came out freaking, oh man. And yes, there are some things that are overrated, but this is not one of them, Charlie.
Okay,
I
this is
feel like I've made some enemies.
here goes my take on it. Okay, and this is somebody I've been watching Star Wars my whole life. Now, the Clone Wars, they took things like overall, I love the whole entire Clone Wars is great, but there is some things that they just took way too far. Like, okay, like the Mordor stuff and all that. Like, dude, who are these people, man? Like, why are we talking? Now the Force has like the ultimate gods and all. Come on, you're taking this too far, way too far. But overall, it's awesome. And I can sit back and I can watch all 7 seasons over and over and over again, and I've seen them all to the point where I can I'm sitting here, I'm saying the words as it's going along. And I never get tired of it, ever. It's not Resistance. Resistance was just that. They should just take that out of everything. They shouldn't even play that for nobody ever again. It should be like the holiday special. They should just get rid of it. But the Clone Wars is not overrated. It is excellent.
I can literally, during the beginning of the Maul arc, when Savage finds him, I can literally, when he's sitting in the cave and he's doing all that, like, mumbling and going off, I mimic that every time it comes on. Like, it is one of my favorite things. Sam Witwer is priceless as that role. It's just amazing. Garrison.
Garrison, what are your thoughts and feelings?
I like 1313's response. I guess that's a fair response, but there are some really great parts to it. Just overall, I still stick with it being kind of on the overrated side overall. I think, one, it's just a little too little kid for my taste, especially the first season. As someone who's trying to get into it, if you're trying to watch it, it's really hard to get into it first because when it originally came out, it was totally catered to younger people,
And
and
they got
so
dark.
you missed a lot
They
of
got
those
dark.
intriguing
Yeah.
intriguing stuff that would draw someone more mature in, I guess.
Mhm.
It also opened up a few plot holes for me that that didn't really like necessarily fit with the rest of Star Wars. Like the rule of two, that kind of just went out the window in Clone Wars, I think. Or stuff like Darth Maul being alive, they kind of just brought him back because he was a popular character rather than it actually working with the story. I feel like he was brought back just because people liked him, which is fair. I mean, they're allowed to do that, but that's kind of how I saw it.
Okay. It's okay, CJ. It's okay.
That
I'm
was
about
the
to blow
beginning.
a cap.
That was the beginning of them being able to bring back people that are supposed to be dead.
Exactly.
They had to do that in order so they could bring back Palpatine, so they could bring back
Somehow.
other people. You know,
They got the
now anybody can
somehow.
just survive. You can get cut in half and survive. Now, you could get Qui-Gon could come back, even though we all watched him die. He could come back. You know, it's possible. The Force brought him back alive. You know, whatever the situation is, they had to open up that arc in order to let people just come back to life whenever they want to. So it's great. That's how we got Palpatine back, and he'll be back again. Watch.
If I may, if this is how you guys feel about Clone Wars, what do you guys think about Rebels as a show?
I love Rebels.
I
Even worse.
love
I'm
Rebels.
excluded
love
from this one because I've
Rebels.
not seen it.
When I had finished Clone Wars, Rebels was just about to be starting. Like when I officially watched all of it through, Rebels was just like I think going into its second season, and I loved it. I loved every second of it. I love that Maul was a part of it. I love Kanan. I think Kanan's one of my favorite characters. I love that they brought Rex back. Rex is one of my favorite clones ever. So
That's like one of the best episodes is when they bring back the clone Wolf and Rex and everybody came in. Wolf snitched on them. I love Rebels. Rebels is the only one out of all of them that I did not like was Resistance. I was like, dude, this is like so boring. Like I just can't watch this.
Resistance is painful to watch.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. So when they confirmed season 7 and season 7 came out, what did you guys like? What was your guys' first reactions when you were watching it? That is like you cried?
Yeah. So like when
That's
when I say
adorable.
that like the Clone Wars was my Star Wars growing up, like I mean that wholeheartedly. Like so my father is a member in the 501st Legion. So when the
Wow.
Clone Wars season 1 was premiering, like I got toted around with him to like premiere events and stuff like that. So like for me, that was like huge. So I would sit in like a mall and just watch the same 2 episodes on loop over and over again while the event was happening. And so right off the bat, I had this intimate connection with the show. And then I remember like we sat every single week, every Friday night on Cartoon Network and watched every episode. And then when Disney took Star Wars over and said that they were canceling any more Clone Wars seasons and episodes, I was crushed. And I was probably in like middle school at the time, I want to say. And I was so upset because the story was incomplete and they left us with Ahsoka leaving the Jedi Order. And that was it. I mean, season 6 came out, but it was only on Netflix and DVD. And, you know, so it wasn't that same feeling of getting to sit down weekly and watch it.
Yeah.
But then I remember when the trailer, it was in the summertime and I was like just sitting on my bed and I saw that there was like this Clone Wars is saved, like whatever the hashtag was. And I looked and I watched the trailer and I just had happy tears. I've never like, I could probably count on one hand the times in my life where I've happy cried. And that was one of them. And I sent the trailer to my dad. He texted me. He was like, this is fake. This is not real. This is not real. I was like, yes, it is. Yes, it is. And every time I watch that trailer, I tear up. Like it was just probably the best Star Wars moment for me of all time.
I remember Clone Wars every Friday. So my dad wasn't a Star Wars fan. My mom went and watched the movie when she was a little. I don't know her age. I don't ask her age. I don't want to know her age. She went and watched the first movie in theaters with my grandma. But my grandma and grandpa were really into it. And my grandfather got into the Clone Wars. And every Friday we'd go to grandma and grandpa's house and we'd sit down and we'd watch Clone Wars. And honestly, like when season 7 came out, that was the first person I called. it literally, like, I'm getting emotional talking about it because, like, the pure enjoyment in his face. He doesn't got a lot of things he enjoys. So Star Wars is one of those things. That's the reason why I got into Star Wars was because of him. And when he did, when he like told me on the phone, he's like, I'm ready for every Fridays again. I'm like, it's not gonna be every Friday, sadly. And he's like, so we're going to binge watch this, and I'm like, if you can stay up with me, old man, we can do that. and just like I have that same connection with Clone Wars that you do. Is just it's that personal connection. It's fond memories. It's my favorite characters are in it. I love Captain Rex to death. Like he's been one of my I'm buying his cosplay. I'm buying his armor. So
there you go.
I'm making his armor.
Really? Nice. I'm buying the pieces. Yeah, I know. I saw that. Did you get that on Etsy?
My brother got it for me for Christmas, and I'm pretty sure he got it on Etsy.
Okay, cool. I was gonna ask that. Okay, Charlie, do you have another question before we get more emotional about this?
I was gonna say, I pose these unpopular opinions to get us all riled up, and we've just ended up being just really wholesome. It's quite lovely. I don't.
Hey, I'll rile you up. Let's go.
No, don't
bring on the baby. Bring on the sequels.
Wait. 1313.
Yes.
Is Rey a Skywalker? Rey is a Skywalker. Rey is a Skywalker.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
Hell no.
Suck it, Garrison. Suck it.
We was having such a great connection, guys. What happened?
Everything was going good. I thought we had something here.
All right.
What? No, it's okay.
Let me pose my argument.
In the court of law, what evidence do you have?
So a big thing about Star Wars is the message of found family. Okay, and the idea that in Star Wars, there are things stronger than your bloodline and all that, and so all of us on our show, we are really into the big overarching messages, the mushy gushy of Star Wars, if you will, that feel good moment. And I think about with Star Wars how many people it's connected me with. Like I look at, Jacob and Jackson are brothers, and so the fact that I've become like they're my found family when it comes to Star Wars. So like knowing that in that moment, Rey, who basically finds out she's the granddaughter of Space Hitler, realizes, I don't know about you, but I would not want to be associated with the name Hitler if I didn't have to be. So she's on Tatooine, and in that moment, she turns around and she sees the Force ghosts of her former mentors. And they're kind of giving her this like nod of approval, and she adopts the name Skywalker, but she gets the approval from them, in my opinion. I understand that people have different interpretations of it, and that's what I like about Star Wars is that idea of just having your own interpretation and then being able to have civil discourse about it. When you're on Twitter, you do not have civil discourse.
No.
No.
Yeah, no, I really like that feeling. But I really like that feeling. So to us, yeah, she's a Skywalker. If you don't like it, that's okay. And if you don't want her to be a Skywalker, that's also okay.
I am on the wrong podcast. I'm joking. I love all of you so much. I'm joking.
So I'll let Garrison go first.
I want Kyle to end this, so I'd go Garrison and then me and then Kyle. Because
I just want to go straight for Kyle. Go, Kyle. No, I want to go.
Kyle, you go ham.
Okay.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus.
You can't just steal somebody's name. I don't care if somebody says it's okay. And my thing is this. Palpatine was dope. He was dope. He conquered the entire galaxy. He is dope. I would use the dope dude's name. I'm like, hey, man, check this out. Hey, I killed him, though. I killed him. That's like you being the grandchild of Hitler, but you killed Hitler. So now you the good guy. Everybody loves you because you killed him. You killed him. So at that point, you're like, all right, I'm the Palpatine now. I took out the Emperor. I'm the new. It's my name. It was my name by birth, and then I took it because I killed him. I would be happy to be a Palpatine.
And you took out the Supreme Leader with a kiss. You killed him with a kiss. You're overall winning. You woke up and you thought, hey, I'm gonna take the Skywalker name. Found family. She found more family in Han and Chewie than she did with Luke and Leia. We didn't get enough screen time with her and Leia. We don't know what kind of connection they had. That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Open the door for an
Great point.
animated show made by Dave Filoni between Episode 8 and Episode 9.
Oh, that would be
Clone
great.
Wars style.
Yeah.
I love it.
Just
Yes.
remake the fucking sequels.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is, like, to Kyle's argument is, if you go to an orphanage and you adopt a child, that child does not keep their last name of whoever dropped them off there. They
It's
adopt
adopted.
the new name. So my interpretation of it is in that moment where Rey looks and sees the Force ghosts of Luke and Leia, it's kind of them adopting her into their family.
Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio.
I love you, Dylan. Thank you.
Booyaka.
But no, that's how I interpret
Sorry.
that moment.
Rey Mysterio. Dylan wrote in the chat,
Thank
Rey
you.
Mysterio.
I have spent maybe like the entirety of the time we've been doing Lightsaber Radio trying to argue that point that you two just so articulately put across. That is
We're
my,
gonna
that is
die
my
on
argument
this hill
every
this
time.
season.
Right. And
I will die on this hill that it is about found family first. The girl came from nothing. She is Rey, no one from nowhere. Let her have something. Let her have something after everything she has been
Well,
through.
she already stole it. We ain't got no choice but to accept it because she already stole it.
There's no
We can
backtracking
argue that we
now.
don't think it's right, but she already stole the name. There ain't nothing we can do about it.
2 points. 2 points. 2 points. Number one, I understand it's found family and like she's never been. Then why not make something for yourself? You can't just live and coast off of the Skywalker name. The same reason you wouldn't want to
No,
coast off the
because-
Palpatine name. Hold on.
Rey
hold on.
Ground Runner.
She didn't want to go by Palpatine, right? Because that's a bad impact. That's a bad influence on the way people would perceive her, right? Well, it's the same thing in Skywalker. Instead of people viewing you negatively, they automatically view you in a positive light, and that's because of the Skywalkers that came before you. Make a name for yourself. Number one. Number two, as poor as the storyline was kind of written, in my opinion, I think one of Rey's arcs and one of her main themes was her finding herself and her becoming okay with herself. Okay,
That's
and
fair.
by her adopting the Skywalker name, instead of her finding peace with herself, she's jumping to the name Skywalker as if that will make her okay. Instead of her finding peace with herself, she's adopting someone else's peace, and it's false peace. It's not her being okay with herself. It's her being okay with the Skywalker and identifying as a Skywalker so that she does not have to confront her own issues with herself.
I'm not in the right place for this therapy lesson. I'm just going to put that out there. Holy, that breaks my heart.
That's an interesting take. I've never heard that perspective. That's an interesting take.
Thank you.
But if you look at it from that point of view, then you could argue, though, that she does kind of find herself because she goes through all the trials and tribulations that you see in the Rise of Skywalker until she's at that final moment where she calls herself a Skywalker. I wouldn't necessarily say it's her just adopting it just to be like, oh, this will help me cope. I feel like if she was still in her kind of broken state of not being able to know who she was, she would even further reject the name because she would feel like she isn't worthy. Because Skywalker is a name that holds so much weight in this universe. So calling yourself a Skywalker is kind of like it's holding a burden. That's like what we see that happens to Luke, Episode 8, when he goes away because he feels the weight of the burden of failing as a Skywalker. So now Rey holds that burden. I wouldn't say it's like a scapegoat. It's more of like a new task, a new thing to do, and to not necessarily just elevate her
I can
from
see
being a
that.
nobody to
I can see
somebody.
that.
It's
And then
like
you got to
a new
remember too.
challenge.
Oh, my sorry. And then you got to remember too, Skywalker is Vader. So at the same point, it's still Hitler. It's still Hitler. We're still adopting a Hitler name. So regardless of the name, she should have just picked a whole new name. She just stuck. I'm just Rey. Just Rey. Why can't I just be Rey? Why do I have to have a last
Finn
name?
is just Finn. Like you could have.
Yeah, like why do I have to have a last name? Here, give me a number. Give me a stormtrooper number. Then I don't know. Just there's no reason to pick any name. Just be Rey. You've been Rey for 3 movies. Just stay Rey. That's my only thing is like why do you have to pick? Like just be Rey. Like what is this big thing about last names?
I always interpreted it as she is done with this part of her journey and she's moving forward. And one of the biggest themes in Star Wars, I think I've argued this point before, one of the biggest themes in Star Wars is hope. And there is nothing in the Star Wars universe that embodies that essence more than the Skywalker legacy and the Skywalker name. She has hope to move forward and a new life and a new journey ahead of her, whatever that may be, and she's carrying that hope with her everywhere she goes, and that, I think that's just so quintessentially Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's a good point. You might have converted me right there. That's a very good point, because you can hope that you become Vader and kill more younglings.
Yep. Okay, the only reason why
at this point, I'll take it.
So the only reason why I really had a problem with it is it wasn't the movie arc. It wasn't her saying it. It was. I'm gonna say this because it's my personal opinion. Is when she has Luke's lightsaber, and when the product came out, it was Rey's lightsaber.
Yeah,
it wasn't Luke's. It wasn't Anakin's. It says Rey's lightsaber. That Youngling Slayer 3000 is not Rey's.
On the shelf.
It is not Rey's. Just because you found it in freaking a cantina. Because it called out to you does not make it yours.
Who did it go to?
Yeah, if it calls out to you, kind of the Force done made it yours.
No, if you go to
that's the Force. You can't argue with the Force. Light or dark, you can't argue with the Force.
This is why I like Mandalorians. Mandalorians make more sense, damn it.
If you go to IKEA and you buy a couch, it is now your couch, not IKEA's couch.
Well, it says IKEA. Hold on. Hold on. It still says IKEA on it. It still says IKEA on it. Just like it's still Luke's
honestly,
lightsaber.
I think it was a marketing thing. I think like when you have kids that are growing up with Star Wars, they don't, and for a lot of young kids, that are not super fans like us, they're going to be like casual fans. They're going to see The Force Awakens and they're going to go, oh, that lightsaber that Rey has is super cool. And so they're going to go to the store. Their parents who don't know anything about Star Wars are going to go to Target. They're going to go, oh, look at Target. There's no action figures here, but there's this little tiny lightsaber, and it's the one that Rey has in the movie. I'm going to snag that, give that to my kid for Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever their kid wants it for.
You're exactly right. They did it for marketing. It was all marketing. Right. It was all marketing.
All the sequels were just marketing.
Marketing for the Mandalorian to come out.
Is there another one?
Yeah. Is that the next opinion? Because I can go on about the sequels, bro.
Yeah, we can keep going here.
Okay, what's the next one?
Oh, let me have a little look through my list.
She's like, anyone's with the sequels, I'm going to omit those.
Yeah, anyone with the sequels.
She's scared.
This is what I agree with. Rogue One is a bad film.
What?
See ya.
What?
No.
Thank you.
Rogue One is so good.
I got to hear your argument.
Rogue One is so good. No.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Excluding the last 10 minutes, like the whole Darth Vader, I will argue that the Darth Vader fight scene in the corridor is one of the most iconic like images we've had out of the Star Wars films. Incredible, immaculate. The rest of the film, drivel. Absolute.
You have a better.
It's so boring.
I
don't care. Response. I am not in no. Also, Jyn Erso, out of all of the powerful, creative, beautiful women that have been like created through Star Wars, Jyn is flat.
Bro,
so
you have a better female story arc in Jyn in one movie than Rey in 3.
Fight me. I disagree.
Yo, 1313.
I have watched. Yeah, go ahead, please.
It's one of it used to be my favorite Star Wars movie for several years. I'm not gonna lie.
It's up there. It is up there.
I think it's really good because it took the archetype of what Star Wars is, and then it just went. Whoop. It turned it on its head because you have the space battle, you have the struggle, but you've never seen every character that you have learned to love die in the one movie. And it really just it changed the way that Star Wars can make a movie, because now it's like no character is safe. I feel like it was done really well, and it explains the story of how the Death Star plans got in the hands of the rebels, which is it's a cool story to tell. Plus the whole like the cinematography of the movie is great. I love Scarif as a planet. It looks beautiful. It's awesome. I just think it's really cool to see a ragtag group of relative nobodies that want to start something and want to start a rebel.
And none of them are Jedi. No. None of them are Jedi. I mean, you have a Force-sensitive guy, but like other than that, it's one of the first. And like I've come to really like Star Wars properties that don't focus so much on the Force anymore. Like The Mandalorian, there's not this huge emphasis on the Force. I mean, yes, Grogu's Force sensitive, and you see that in there, but it's about Din Djarin. And the same goes for Rogue One. It's much more relatable in a sense because it's much more grounded in what we see as reality.
See,
That's the only thing I didn't like about it. Is that it didn't have no
that's
Jedi
fair.
in it. But other than that, the movie is great. I like the fact that it basically Rogue One was to make it. So many other TV shows have been created because of Rogue One, and the possibility that even the star can get killed. You got The Walking Dead. The whole franchise is based on nobody is safe. Everybody can get killed. Rogue One started that. That was Rogue One is the one that created all that. The whole storyline is excellent because it's based on hope. It's based on the president, or however you say that, of Star Wars. Because you got people that are trying to go up against the impossible to achieve a goal and show the rest of the galaxy that we do not have to bend our knee and bend our head to this power, which is the Empire. That's what they show. Even the smallest person can fight against this multiple giant kilometry of just, you know what I'm saying, which is the Empire. That's what it showed. Without Rogue One, we wouldn't have got that kickback into what Star Wars is all about. The hope, the saying that you can accomplish anything. That's what George based Star Wars on. That any person out here can go out here and accomplish their dreams and goals if they want to. If you try hard and you work hard, you can get there. That's what Rogue One was about. That's what the storyline. It was great. The whole storyline, the way it played out, everything. Yeah, there was slow times in it, but it's because it was telling a story. It had to tell the story so we could get. And it filled so many plot holes. Because you're like, man, where did this Death Star come from? You know, what they just got this giant battle station? When did this happen? You know, everything, it just filled so many plot holes. And it just was that bridge. It was the bridge. And we needed that. If we didn't have that, then the storyline of hope would have kind of drizzled down. We needed that to bring it back in and say, okay, here goes the storyline. Here's what Star Wars is all about.
Right. I would say 4 reasons why Rogue One is one of the greatest, definitely up there with the top Star Wars movies. 1, it helped you reminisce about what you loved about Star Wars without being just straight fan service without any story. It hit on enough, but not too much. Number 2, I think the Force does work through all the characters. Even though they're not Force sensitive, I think you can see a common like destiny almost, that no matter how powerful you might seem or how insignificant you are, you can make a difference and you can do it, kind of thing, like what Kyle was talking about. Number 3, I think it backs up. Hope is great, but you also need to back it up with action. And all these characters, they sacrifice. They all give their lives at the end for hope. And I think hope can inspire you to do great things, and it teaches that in the movie as well. And then last, Kyle said it again, it fills plot holes instead of opening up new ones. Like I feel it's when you're making a movie that closely tied to previously made movies, it's really easy to open up plot holes. And this one filled plot holes instead of opening them.
Damn. I think I might be converted.
And Garrison was smart enough to write down the answers to all this on his phone because he was looking at it the whole time. He had this planned out for months. He's had this planned out forever.
Yes. Last time we talked,
it's like a whole essay.
He wrote an essay on it.
Okay.
It's a hell of a senior paper.
I have got one more before we move on.
Hold on. And the Rogue One had Ip Man in it, and that was the greatest martial artist to ever live. He topped Bruce Lee. That's another thing to just.
Fair. Oh, I can't decide. The changes made to the special editions were actually a good choice by George.
What?
Yeah.
The changes that he when he went back and changed the originals and he changed a few bits in the prequels and he moved stuff around and redubbed stuff, like all of those changes that he made were actually of benefit to the movies rather than a hindrance. It's general opinion that it was
I've never seen anything
idea.
but them, so we never saw the original movies.
Oh yeah, they're really young.
We wouldn't realize what was changed. I've gone back and I've watched the changes now, and I can see why some people are probably like the only one I disagree with is taking Han Solo's head, creating a PNG, and going. I think that's a bit silly, but it makes sense for his character because you don't want him to be like a murderer in his first scene where he just kills somebody before like they even attack him. I understand the thought. I just think it wasn't executed that well.
You.
Yeah, pawn shot first. I do agree with that.
Pawn shot first.
But no, for the rest of it, I think it's fine. Like adding like some, like especially like in episode 4, there's like lots of added VFX shots to give Mos Eisley like a bigger presence. It's not just like a couple sand huts. It's like a thriving city with like different things going on. It just makes it have like a bigger presence and more environment. And especially for episode 5, changing the Emperor from that clay face thing that they had as the Emperor is definitely an improvement. I definitely like that.
Don't remind me.
I don't mind the changes.
And I did like putting Hayden Christensen as the Force Ghost.
That's true.
Oh, that was like.
I feel bad
That was
for
my
the original
favorite.
actor that was standing there next to Alec Guinness.
Oh yeah, I feel bad for the
He
dude.
made his money. He's good. He's dead now.
No, he's probably sitting there. Like, think about it. He didn't get talked to. He's sitting there watching it. He's like, "Oh, cool, they remastered it. I wonder if they like made me a little bit better or something." And he goes in thinking he's gonna be in it, and next thing you know, he's like, "Who the hell is that?"
He's sitting there with his wife and kids. No, he's sitting there with his wife and kids. He goes, "Look, I'm about to come up on the screen, guys. Watch." No.
No. The problem with that was
sure, honey.
The problem that I had with that part was I don't mind that they put Hayden Christensen in there, but they put him in there at his age that he turned into Darth Vader. Like, dude's like 60 years old now. What the hell? You know, he don't look like this no more. That don't make no sense. And the Jabba thing. That shit, the Jabba part was just, that was just terrible.
The reanimated Jabba.
Yeah, that just was like, oh my God, this just looks so fake. It just looks terrible. Like you should have let the puppet up there. The puppet looked fine. There wasn't nothing wrong with the puppet.
I haven't seen the puppet. I have to go back and watch that. But I have seen the problem with the Han Solo walking behind Jabba and he just goes kind of over.
Why did they have to make him walk on Jabba's tail? Like that was so unnecessary.
Funny. It's a
The
Han
reason why
Solo
they did
thing.
that. It's a technique that VFX artists do to make something feel like it's tangible within your scene. Kind of like in Lord of the Rings when Smeagol is going after a fish, they have like water effects, so it actually looks like Smeagol's in that scene.
Okay.
It's one of those things that kind of makes it more look realistic by grounding it. Only it wasn't done very well, so it kind of does the exact opposite of what it was meant to do.
Yeah.
I am a self-confessed lover of the genre of jizz music within the Star Wars universe. I love anything to do with the Cantina Band and all of that. The really aggressively animated singing lady with the lips, completely unnecessary.
Nice noodles.
Nice indeed, an absolute queen icon and legend. Love her to pieces, but it makes me so uncomfortable.
I have a question for him. Do you guys think Max Rebo survived? Do you guys think Max Rebo survived?
Yeah.
Is that Max Rebo in Book of Boba Fett?
Yes, it is. Of course it is.
I'm still just trying to figure out how he survived.
Yeah, that's
so much time between
somehow
when the
he
fight started
survived
breaking out to when the sail barge blew up. The fella could have just gone, "I'm out."
Yeah.
The shot rang out. He could have just been like, "I'm bad. I head out," and just hopped off the ship.
Bro,
we don't see it.
Darth Maul got cut in half. This dude can
You leave
survive.
Darth Maul, bro.
Palpatine got thrown down the shaft, and somehow he came back as a clone. So
Somehow he survived.
Back, you know.
Yeah. He's a clone. They cloned him because they was like, Max Rebo is the awesome dude, so we're gonna clone. He's the best musician in all of Star Wars. We're gonna clone him, and now he's a clone.
Thank you for indulging my attempts to make us all fall out with each other. I really appreciate it.
I got a good one.
Oh boy.
Oh, you got one?
You guys episode 8?
What?
Are we talking? Yeah, The Last Jedi.
Yes.
Yes.
Here's my controversial question. What are your opinions on Star Wars Episode 8?
Why?
Why?
Oh, because it's funny. Because
sequels suck. Sequels are terrible. 8 was okay. So everybody says 8 is like the worst of the sequels. I don't think it's as bad. Like it's just as bad as the rest of the sequels. I think it's better than what people give it credit for, but it still sucks.
Ooh.
Right. All of you shut up. All of you sit down and shut up. It is a cinematic masterpiece from start to finish. I will hear no argument. It is beautiful. It is
It made
shut up.
no sense.
Shut up. Shut up. It's beautiful. It is aesthetically immaculate. The journey that Rey goes through, that is some of the most intense character development we've had since the prequels and Anakin Skywalker. The entire interaction between Kylo and Rey, incredible. The death of Snoke, amazing. The fight in the throne room scene, perfection. Absolute perfection. Luke Skywalker being a grumpy old man. Love it. Absolutely love it. However, I don't necessarily feel that it fits into the storyline of episode 7 and episode 9. You sort of have to view it as kind of like a slightly separate entity compared to the other two films. But whatever. I love it. I'm with you guys. I love it.
The movie itself was if you look at the cinematic part of it, cinematically it was done very well done. Mm-hmm. The storyline was lacking in several places. And the worst thing that they could have done is they killed Luke Skywalker at the end of it, and they don't even kill him. He just disappears because he used the Force, and he Force projected himself. He is the Grand Master of the Jedi now. There's only 3 other people that they know of that is using the light side of the Force. So if you go off of the Bane theory and Revan's theory that the more people that are using the Force, the less abilities you have. Because it's like a battery. Too many people are drawing on that same power source. So he is the only one. So him Force projecting himself. And if you go off of Legends, where this dude can Force project entire ships, entire battle cruisers and shit, and him just to Force project himself across the thing and then come back and just die, that was the worst thing that they ever did in Star Wars. Luke Skywalker went out like a punk. He didn't go out like the Grand Master Super Jedi that he was, and it just ruined the entire movie just in that one instant.
Okay. Can I be super cynical here for a second?
Sure.
I think the sequels so Star Wars, you have something that literally lasts the ages. Like we've been talking about, even the originals, people still love it to this day. Star Wars is a story and a movie that lasts through the ages, all of them. And I think the sequels, they did not sit down and start to write the sequels as a way to honor Star Wars and as a way to continue on this great story. They wrote it and made it singly as a cash grab. And they put in progressive ideas to cater to people today. Which I'm not saying progressive ideals are bad. I'm just saying because Charlie had a look. No.
It's too late.
No, just wait. No, I'm going for it. They did it as purely a cash grab, and inserted progressivism into it because they thought that was what people would like. But instead of actually writing things that would mean a lot for the characters, they just did it to inject it to make people like it. A perfect example is FN2 Finn. Sorry, I was going to go through his whole name, but Finn. They put in an African American character to kind of cater and bring about African American stories, right? But he was written very first dimensionally, so it seemed as more of, hey, we're going to put him in to show everybody that we're so woke, but we're not actually going to write a meaningful character.
Mm-hmm. He should have been a Jedi. I'm just saying.
He should have been a Jedi.
He should have been a Jedi.
Do you guys know the reason why that Finn got sidelined after episode 7?
China.
No, do tell.
No, Jacob knows
China.
the whole story.
So the whole thing
sucks.
is that movies would not. China was like, we will not show your movies in theaters if you have a black main character, and because Disney makes so much money from China, they said okay, and they sidelined them for the rest of the series.
Yeah, I read an article about
instead
that.
of
Conference after all the
It's like in the newest movie for Marvel Eternals, Disney knew that it wasn't going to be a huge grossing movie like the new Spider-Man movie was, so they weren't afraid to put homosexual leads, black leads, and a bunch of people that are different races and different opinions because they knew it wasn't going to sell that well, so they weren't afraid to miss out on China's sales. Right. But for Star Wars, it's such a huge title and it's worldwide with how much it's loved. They didn't want to lose out on the potential money, so they pulled them. So it's kind of really crappy why.
Right, and it kind of sucked because they're putting it in to write a good story that means something and to actually send a message, which would have been great. But then because they were more concerned with profits, they kind of pulled it out and ended up cheapening it instead of respecting it.
And they tried to hide it too. That's the worst part.
Yeah, thank you. And that's what I kind of got. I know it was poor delivery on me, but that's what I was trying to kind of say. What I was trying to say. Far out, I can't talk today.
I think that there's, because if you really look at it, and you look at 7, and you're watching 7, you think that he is going to be the main character. You think this is the whole story arc is about to be him. It's called Force Awakened. He's woke up. He's like, his brainwashedness goes away, and he's going to be the main character. And you're like, all right, man, this dude's going to be a Jedi. He has the Force in him. That's what woke him up and all this stuff. And then they just went a complete left field on it. And you're like, what the hell is going on? Who's this chick? Where'd she come from? What's going on? Like, why is this happening? What? And it just left you very confused. You started off the movie with such a strong character, and then you switched over to this other character. Not to say that Rey ain't strong character, but it just left you confused and like discombobulated. You were like, what's going on?
After The Force Awakens, I was dead set on Finn being a Jedi. When he went toe to toe with Kylo Ren. Yeah, he got wrecked at the end of it, but he still put up a damn good fight. And the fact that they were so scared about not making money, think about it. Everybody loves Lando. They're making a show about Lando. If you give us another, not Lando character, but another strong African American or whatever you want to, however he identifies as character, it's gonna sell. He was popular. Everybody loved his character, and Disney just bowed
Ain't he from
down.
England?
Yeah, I think so. I believe so. I don't know exactly where he is from, but he was such a strong character. I thought he was one of my favorites. I loved his comedy. I loved the way he approached things. I loved when Poe and BB-8 at the beginning of 7, Finn naked, leaking bag, blood.
Yeah.
Fried a wire. Like that. It just led into something great. That was funny and it was priceless. And they just still didn't do anything right by him. And I hope they can bring him back. And I hope they can do something with him. Because to see some Force sensitivity in somebody such a strong actor and such a strong character would be amazing. And
yeah, he's from.
I think John Boyega. John
Britain.
Boyega deserves it.
Oh yeah, John Boyega. He's from the UK. So sorry,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure who.
Yeah, definitely thought you were talking about Billy D. Williams when you said it.
Yeah,
I'm like, wait,
I was like,
No, what I was trying to say though is that everybody fell in love with Lando. Like there was so much like nostalgic, like we wanted to know more about Lando. Now we're sitting here 30 years later, 20 years later, so on and so forth, and we're wanting to know more about Finn. It's another Billy D. Williams situation where
it's the
Billy
same
D
thing with
had
everything that's going on with Mace Windu. Did Mace Windu,
Mace Windu.
save?
Mace Windu.
Did he save Grogu from the Jedi Temple? Everybody's wanting to see the storyline. Like, what really happened to Mace? All we see him fly out the window. Jedi get thrown out of ships and all kind of stuff to survive. Everybody else survived. Maul got cut in half. He survived. So why doesn't Mace Windu survive? So there's a lot of things, and that's another character that a lot of people want to see brought back into the Star Wars fold.
And
So
what
it
doesn't
just
help
kind of matters.
is Samuel L. Jackson getting on Twitter and wearing Star Wars shirts.
yeah.
And holding his lightsaber, it
knows
doesn't help.
exactly
It's
what
like
he's
it's like, hey Disney, like nudge nudge, wink wink, like come on guys,
Like,
I wanna
please
come back.
put me back in the movie.
They need to make a standalone movie about Mace. Come on, he's the only person that mastered all that we have in this time period that mastered all the Jedi, all the lightsaber forms. So that's a great character to bring back. And then him and Vader fighting at the end, that would be so dope. That would be one of the dopest movies
Well,
ever.
obviously Vader would have to win, but it would still be dope to see.
Yeah, that would be definitely a great movie.
Okay, what is up next on this repertoire?
Oh my goodness me.
Hey Nick, so Nick said, give it 10 years and a deepfake will be so common. I don't think it's gonna take 10 years, man. With the deepfake stuff that's on YouTube now, like, I don't think it's gonna take that long. Maybe like a year or two. They probably making it right now.
Left, right, and center. So
If I could figure out how to work the stupid Unreal Engine crap, I'd probably make that shit right now. But I can't figure that shit out. That shit is hard.
it's complicated.
Okay.
Is it
All right,
time to shuffle onto some news and rumors? News and rumors.
No, we're gonna go with what if right now. I think we should do what if.
Sorry.
Since we're on this good roll, we should do what if.
I am a professional. I do know what I'm doing.
I love that Marvel show. What if? Yeah, what if?
It only takes one decision to decide the direction of the galaxy. A decision that will influence the outcome. But if that decision went the other way, reality as we know it would change forever. The galaxy would be on a different course. Things that have happened would cease to exist. A new narrative would be etched into creation. So we are going to analyze those other possibilities when we ask, what if?
Okay, so the what if question this week is, what if Boba did not save Fennec Shan? How would things be different in the book of Boba Fett?
Ooh.
You wouldn't have Fennec with him.
I think, yeah.
I cannot think of how he would be different other than he would just be. I feel like he would be a bit more susceptible to attacks and a bit more of a pushover because we already see he gets in one fight and immediately he's like, to the back to tank. So I feel like he relies on her a lot, especially for her opinions and her thoughts on situations, but especially for in battle. So I feel like he'd be really given a run for his money if she wasn't in the show. But then again, he would probably have somebody else.
Bosk. I think he would go and get Bosk.
Yeah, I think he would get Bosk. Yeah.
I think he would get Bosk. I'm sorry. I think if Fennec wasn't there, I think it'd immediately go to Bosk or another bounty hunter that he was close with. Mm-hmm. I don't like Fennec Shan is amazing. She's an amazing character. I love Ming-Na Wen. She's like her role in Bad Batch was great. Her role in The Mandalorian was great. And then now coming into this, she's just a great character all around. But if she wasn't the right hand of Boba, it wouldn't be that big of a deal either way. We would see a Bosk. We would see anything, an IG unit. I could see an IG unit being right next to him. I mean, it doesn't really necessarily matter. She just brings a stronger story arc from her point of view, and it helps complement Boba Fett. She's more attack now, relax later, and Boba Fett's like, let's relax and wait until they attack. And it's a good complementary with each other because they're trying to both figure out how to do this together without hating each other at the same time. Yeah. Anybody else? Are we done?
Yeah, no, we're not done.
It's really silent. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I was not focused. I'm stealing answers from the chat. He probably wouldn't have gotten his armor back and would most likely still be on Tatooine living with the Tuskens. Thanks, Chris and Nick. Appreciate it.
Really? I don't think he would have stayed with the Tuskens. I don't think he would have done that.
I would.
What do you think, Garrison?
Where's my armor?
I don't know if he'd get. I don't know if he'd be working with Bosk just because I feel like Boba Fett has, like, he's changed so much. He's not the Boba Fett we're used to. Like, he's almost a different character right now. So I don't know if he'd work well with Bosk anymore, just because Bosk is still kind of in that bounty hunter lane, and Boba Fett has kind of switched to something totally different. So I'm not exactly sure. I don't think he would be with another bounty hunter though.
No.
I think it's an interesting question because so far we've only seen 2 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett. So I don't really know how much Fennec has done aside from be like a compliment to Boba's line of thinking. I think she's definitely his one enforcer that he can trust because she has had to, basically she owes him a life debt because of him saving her on Tatooine. So I think that because of that reason, he knows he can trust her unconditionally and that she'll do what he says. And I think that you're right. Like with Bosk and with anybody else, there is not that dynamic between those two characters. So I think that she kind of is the last stand. Like she's the one person that Boba knows he can rely on no matter what the circumstances. So I think that having her around and having her feedback and stuff, at the end of the day, I don't think he cares much for her feedback because he's going to do it his way. But at the same time, he definitely relies on her to do things like catch the Moon Pie gang and pretty much, do whatever else. I don't, they're the assassins that order the Night Wind. We just call them the Moon Pie gang.
The Moon Pie gang. That was great.
They just go around and steal moon pies from local stores and beat up Boba for his money so they can buy more.
Hey,
I remember the name.
It's Moon something. I can't remember the name. Nothing. They wasn't that important. They was gone real quick.
They're like, we're cool. And then they're like, Rancor. I'll tell you everything.
I'll die in an instant. They won't tell you nothing. Oh, the Rancor. Oh, I'll tell you everything. Just get me out of here right now.
Yeah.
It's a mouse. All that pops out is a little mouse. That's it.
Yeah.
Tommy stole most of what I was going to say, like, because I agree with everything Tommy just said, because that's about what I was going to say. Like, I don't see him hooking up with no other bounty hunters, because he has to have that trust factor, because you got to remember, he saved Fennec's life. Yeah. So that's where their dynamic comes in. She kind of owes him that life debt. She kind of owes him for saving her, so she got his back regardless. Plus, they both went through a traumatic experience, so that kind of goes inside, him being in the Sarlacc, her almost dying and him saving her. So it puts them in a position of, that they got each other's back. It's kind of like, Chewie and Han. Mm-hmm. If she wasn't there, I think honestly, Boba would already be dead. I think we'd be ending this whole series at season 2, because he was getting his ass whooped. They'd have killed that dude, you know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't doing shit. She was whooping their ass, and he was just getting beat up. And I think without him being able to rely on her, I don't think he would go as far. I don't think he would be able to do the things. I don't think he would ever went and tried to take over Jabba's palace in the first place and Jabba's empire in the first place. And it would have kind of sucked, because I wouldn't have got to interview Ming, but because she wouldn't be on the show and she probably wouldn't have never talked to me. But I think that's what I really think. I really think that Boba would not even be in a position that he's at. I don't think he'd have stayed with the Sand people, because I don't know. I just don't see that working out for very long. Sooner or later, they're going to get mad. He's going to say something or do something, and they're going to get mad and Gaffy stick him to death. But I don't see them, I don't see it being where it's at right now. I think the show would have been over if she wasn't there. Okay, so I got another question that I just wanted to ask, just throw in there. What do you guys think about black croissants, or however you say the damn name?
Black croissant.
I can't say the name. How do you think they're gonna bring him into the show? I mean, really bring him into the show. I mean, last episode, all he was just standing there holding his gun, kind of looking very, very scary.
Come out and give I was thinking about this morning, actually. So I think that Star Wars, with all these television shows, are doing this thing where they introduce a character in one show and then you see the character in subsequent releases. I think that the reason they chose this specific bounty hunter to be in this show is because they're going to canonize that interaction with Obi-Wan on Tatooine from that one comic book. Mm-hmm. I think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to see him in Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he attacks the Lars homestead. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the reason, because when you look at characters like Fennec Shand, she showed up in The Mandalorian, then she was in The Bad Batch, and now The Book of Boba. Mm-hmm. You had Boba Fett, who was reintroduced in The Mandalorian, and now he has his own show. Mm-hmm. You have The Bad Batch, which was in Clone Wars Season 7. They have their own show now. I think that Star Wars is doing this thing where they use a show to make spin-offs and to incorporate characters to make everything kind of seem like it's more cohesive. Mm-hmm. And you don't just see a character once and never see him again. So I think that the purpose of having him here, other than to be a badass in this show, is to introduce him later on. That's my theory on that.
And it also makes sense.
That's a good
thing. I agree with that. That's a fair point.
We're going to see Darth Vader in the Kenobi show. Mm-hmm. And this bounty hunter also appears in the Dr. Aphra comics. Aphra is canon, and Aphra is Darth Vader's lead scientist. So she's probably going to be in Kenobi, maybe. That would be cool to see her, because she works with Darth Vader all the time, and he works with Aphra. Well, yeah. So, that's
it's also in the Doctor in the Afro books too. Mm-hmm. Because that's the first time that because I don't read the comics, so the first time I ever heard of I can't ever say his name, Black BK. We're gonna call him BK from now on. The first time we seen BK is in the first time I had heard about him or seen him was in the Afro books. So. That's why I was wondering, because I'm thinking, like, are we going to see Aphra in the Book of Boba Fett? Because even though I really didn't care for the books, I mean, they were all right. You know, they're Star Wars books, so of course, you know, I like them, but they weren't, you know, my top book tier in the books that I like to listen to. I just have a feeling that she's going to show up for some reason. I want to think that she's going to show up that has to do with something about the degeneration of Boba as him being a clone. And I think she's going to come in and help out with that a little bit. I just have a real strong feeling that might happen. And I think that. Go ahead.
I do think too. I saw we have your guys' chat pulled up in here, and I saw someone say that comic is canon with the Obi-Wan Kenobi encounter.
So it's gotta happen.
I do want to say though that I think that there's this weird thing that Star Wars TV shows are doing as well, where they take things that happen in comics that are considered canon, and then they change how they happen. Just look at Depa Bilaba's death in the first episode of The Bad Batch. Yeah. That's completely different, the way it's set up, than it was in the Kanan Jarrus comic. The Caleb Doom comic, I guess I would say. The way it's set up, the way that the clone commander looks, even his name is different. I believe in the comic he was a captain, and in the show he's a commander. And so I think that there's going to be not these subtle retcons, but like the way it's done cinematically is going to be different than the way it was done in the comic book. But the overall outcome will remain the same. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, also just with what's been going on with the books, what's been going on with, in the movies, certain things that happen, there's a lot of legends being brought into canon. So you can't even really go canon and legends anymore. Mm-hmm. And we all know David said he's a big proponent of legends. He likes a lot of the legend stuff. So I don't see there being a difference anymore, because you don't ever know what you're going to get. You might get some legend stuff that's happening. I mean, in canon, Luke couldn't force project, but in Legends, he force projects. So, when you look at the differences, you're like, okay, you don't ever know what you're going to get at this point. Black Christmas, special.
Yeah, whilst we've been having a serious discussion, the chat are discovering different ways to pronounce Black Chrysanthemum.
Black Chrysler.
Black Chrysler.
Black Chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum. Okay.
Yeah,
I think World Farmer Boy, if that's the proper pronunciation, I still ain't gonna get it right. I'll forget in 5 minutes.
That doesn't sound cool enough. I like Black Croissant better, honestly.
Yeah, Black Croissant.
Black concrete.
Black concrete.
Okay, let's get to some news and rumors.
Ooh.
Let's see what's happening in news and rumors. I am unprepared as normal.
The one I did.
Okay, so what's new and exciting? Has anybody found out anything new and exciting?
Actually, there was a bit. This is not film related, but a very reliable source in the gaming industry leaked that we might see a reveal for Jedi Fallen Order this year in May, and maybe a release at the end of this year around Christmas. So that is exciting.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, I read an article on that this morning. I was like,
damn.
Then there was I guess on what was that, Daily Enterprise? I can't remember which one it was, but I can't ever get his Morrison or Morris, however you say his damn name.
Mayor Morrison.
Yeah. He gave a little sneak that he said, "Ooh, just wait till episode 7 because you guys are going to be very well surprised." So I'm guessing they're bringing in somebody or something, because the way it was related on, basically it would be a Mandalorian type of reveal. So we know the Mandalorian type of reveal was Luke coming. So who might show up in episode 7 of Book of Boba Fett?
Django Fett.
Han Solo.
Django Fett.
Django Fett. Han Solo.
It's Han Solo, because Harrison Ford, there's been articles all over the place about Harrison Ford being confirmed to reprise and do a whatever they did with Luke Skywalker in some sort of role.
That would be cool.
That would be interesting.
I would lose my mind to see a middle-aged Han Solo.
Boba Fett, where?
I'm back and I still hate it.
What's he gonna do? Walk up with his cane? Having Chewie carry him? Come on, Chewie, get me over there so I can talk to him.
As we know, Disney have been developing their deep fake technology, so there's a lot of reasons to think that it will literally be they're getting him in to do face scans. and head
Can I
scans.
just say,
They're going to deepfake him.
I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion here, but I really like Alden Ehrenreich's interpretation
Thank
of the
you!
Han Solo character. And honestly, like as much as deepfakes are cool,
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to just recasting some of these characters. Like I'm not completely opposed to like doing a recast for some of these characters, because I thought Alden Ehrenreich played Han Solo well. He didn't play Harrison Ford playing Han Solo. He played Han Solo, you know, but that's just me. So I would like to see Han Solo, but like I don't really care either way if it's a deepfake or not.
Well, my thing is, go ahead, Garrison.
I think he played a good Han Solo. I just think he kind of took his own spin on it. Kind of like you have the different Jokers, like Joaquin Phoenix and Heath Ledger. Yeah. They're kind of different, slightly different versions of the same character. That's what I think he did. I think he did a slightly different version of Han Solo. And whether you like that or not, that's up to you. And
it wasn't too bad, because you got to understand, this is not Han Solo that we're used to. This is young Han Solo. Mm-hmm. This is he ain't learned some of the stuff. He's just now getting started. You know, so he's not. We're not seeing the same character as we've seen. Now I don't know about recasting him as the Han Solo that we're used to now. I think that would be kind of hard to do, to find somebody that can play him the way that Harrison Ford, because then we're going to be expecting the way Harrison Ford played Han Solo, because this is the time period that it is. But I'm not completely opposed to that. I'm like, it's a Star Wars character. The character is Han Solo. You know, Harrison Ford doesn't make who Han Solo is. He just was the actor that played Han Solo. So if you could find an actor that could come in and, you know, give us a good close reference to that, and, you know, and it during the time period, I don't think I would be that turned away from that.
I just feel like it's really hard to get that same kind of recognition with a different actor. I'm fine with the recasting if you can get someone good enough, but it's really tough to do, to get that same kind of recognition and the same kind of nostalgia for a lot of things.
Yeah,
that's a good point. You have to like advertise it as this is who this character is now, and like if you do like a surprise, if you do a surprise cameo, unless you have them dressed in a super specific way and the actor looks almost identical, a lot of casual fans won't pick up on it.
Jamie Costa would have been a great role for that.
Yes,
and they picked Alden Ehrenreich over him. Well, I think if you brought him in, he's got the same height as Harrison Ford. He's got the same facial structure. He can do the voice. I think you just do that face scan and throw a little bit more Harrison Ford features on him. He could still do the voice part, and it would still come off as Han Solo. I love Alden Ehrenreich. I love Solo. It's one of my favorite movies. Like, it's in my top 5, hands down. But I think there's a lot of missed potential.
Well, and then you also got to think about it too. If you're bringing them in for a quick cameo, you know, couple scenes here and there, not, you know, we're not making Solo 2 here. You know, he's popping up in Boba Fett, you know, a couple times. Another actor is not going to really throw anybody off. You know, if he's not playing a major role in for the next whole season 2, he's in every episode, that might seem kind of weird to have a different actor. But just to have a different actor show up for, you know, a couple scenes, couple dialogue scenes or whatever the situation, even a whole episode of season 7 wouldn't be that bad. But, you know, something like Luke did in The Mandalorian, I mean, if you would have just put a whole nother character in there, nobody would have even been, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal, because it was such a small part. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that. But if you're going to do the whole season 2 of having whole Solo in every episode, you might want to give somebody this, because in Star Wars fans, as critical as we are, we might start bitching about shit. You know, it's going to give us something to argue about.
My only question is, if Han Solo is in the last episode, why is he there? Is Boba Fett gonna die? I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that.
I like Han Solo, but I also like Boba Fett. And
how dare you speak it into existence?
I guess.
I don't think that it's gonna be Han Solo. I think
neither do I.
I don't think it's gonna be Han Solo. I think Han Solo is gonna be in, like, you know, something else. I think Han Solo's more likely to be in the Kenobi series than he's gonna be in the Book of Boba Fett. I just don't see him being there.
I would love to see Hondo Onaka. I'm sorry, I heard you. I'd love to see Hondo.
Insolence! We are pirates! We don't even know what that means.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be super cool.
And that's the only bit of news that I had. Anybody else got anything?
Same. That was the only bit I had as well.
That's all we
It
had.
was that. Yeah.
Sometimes,
so.
you know, some weeks the news is very dry for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Let me check the Googles. Let me see if there's anything popping in the
Let me just do what a lot of people do and just make something up.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
So, Brie Larson is being fired from Star Wars for the 7th time this year. Hostile takeover.
And John Favreau and Dave Filoni are taking over. They're canning Kathleen Kennedy. She's out. You know,
They
that
just did a sumo wrestling match with inflatable suits, and they came out on top. So that's the news, everybody. Get ready.
All right, so
one that's coming up is from Game Rant, and it's the fact that Knights of the Old Republic remake might come out next year.
Wow.
That's definitely a rumor. That's a rumor.
Kyle, it don't happen.
Anything that got to do with video games ain't never happening. Right? We ain't never getting another Star Wars video games. They just tell us that all the time. Right. Even though I don't play video games, so I don't really care. But the fact of that they've been talking about new Star Wars games for 10 years and we ain't seen one. So, all right. Are we ready for the impossible quiz?
All right.
No.
Probably going to fail.
Yeah, we always fail. What are you talking about? Charlie comes up with the craziest questions ever. Like, why would I know that? All right.
Well, now, you insufferable womp-rats, it's time for Charlie's impossible quiz.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
No.
In the spirit of sportsmanship, I will let you two guys you can confer and give me your answers as the 1313 podcast. We will do it that way. Question number 1. What starfighter does Darth Vader pilot during the Battle of Yavin?
That's a good question.
CJ?
My defender.
No.
It's not.
Wow, I've stumped everyone.
Like a TIE fighter.
No.
It was like the Defender X1 or something.
A TIE Interceptor.
Garrison, there's the point for you. Congratulations. It's a TIE Advanced X1.
Wait, the same ship?
Oh! What did you think the question was?
Forget it. I definitely, whatever.
Question number 2. In the latest episode of Book of Boba Fett, who plays Black Chrysanthemum?
Jonas! It's Jonas! Is it Jonas? I would love to see Jonas
a giant silverback gorilla.
A giant gorilla.
That's what it looks like. Oh, that was huge, bro.
It was Shaq.
There's either
I would love to see
Shaq or a
Shaq,
silverback gorillas inside that suit, man, because that thing was huge and scary.
Kareem. It's Kareem.
No Googling is allowed. I would
Kareem's
just like to reinforce that. No, the actor for Black Chrysanthemum is a man called Corey Jones. He's an actor and an SFX artist. He's known for his work on The Walking Dead. You know Predators, the movie, that really big creature thing? That's him. He's 6'7".
I need to Google it. I need to Google his I need to see this man.
Carey Jones, I think. I think I spelled that right. Yeah, Carey.
I don't know. I thought it was Shaq.
Carey Jones.
That grew a long beard.
Shaq. You thought it was Shaq.
He just grew a long hair and grew his hair out, and that was it. They said hair. You can just play.
Jones. Carey Jones. If you SFX artist actor.
I'm not finding him. What's his name?
I'm finding a Facebook profile of a female.
Is it Carey or Corey? Because I looked up Corey Jones and I found a police shooting.
It's C-A-R-E-Y.
Oh, I see. He's not as scary. He's not that scary looking. He looks like a nice guy.
No, he's not that scary.
No, but damn, he's tall. 6'7".
6'7".
I'm not finding him. I'm giving up.
You're giving up.
I'll trust that he's 6'7".
Yeah. Question number 3. What is the act of using a jetpack called by the Mandalorians?
Flying.
Jumping.
Rising.
Levitating.
Jumping.
I'm just gonna start throwing names. I'm just gonna start throwing things out now.
I have no idea.
1313, you are so close. You are
Insane.
so close.
It wasn't rising.
Upping.
No, you're close. You're really close. The act of using the jetpack has like a full title.
Rising to the sky.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay,
there you
yeah,
go.
Rising
Congratulations. There's a
Rising
point.
Phoenix was a trial that you had to do to get your jetpack.
No.
No, it's the act of
See,
using
I
the
thought
jetpack.
the same thing. Thank you.
The Rising.
I was like, that
It's
ain't
the
it.
same.
That's what you do.
Rising Phoenix.
Rising Phoenix.
It's the armorer that says that, if I remember correctly. Right?
Yeah. You special,
Question,
Sometimes
question number
bad.
4. You absolute bunch of weirdos. What year did Black Chrysanthemum debut in Marvel Comics?
2015.
2017.
Yes. Bonus points if you can give me the month.
Dang.
July.
Dude,
August.
My
No,
December.
we don't play this game. No, but you can have the point because you got the year right. It was 2000. February the 11th, 2015 was his debut.
Hey, I was the closest to the month. I said December.
Nice.
That was cute.
Question. That was cute. Question number 5. In Legends, what is the name of the Jedi school Luke Skywalker creates?
charcoal.
rubble.
Moon Title.
Youngling Slayer.
Yeah, no.
The decapitation station.
Yes.
Come down to Luke Skywalker's decapitation station. Discounts available.
Was it not
Half
the
off.
Jedi Academy?
No, it was not the Jedi Academy.
Wasn't it on Yavin 4 though?
Yes, it was on
Might-
Yavin 4.
it was on
That's
Yavin.
good. But that's not the question.
Okay. The Knights of Ren practice arena.
Oh my god. No, the answer is the Jedi Praxium.
That's
I would never have
That was
gotten
That's
close.
that.
That was
terrible.
close.
Yeah, you were close.
Yeah, you was
were
close.
close.
I said Jedi Academy. It's like the same thing.
It's an academy.
Yeah, but you're still not getting the point. Question number 6. Max Rebo certainly has an iconic look, but answer me this. What is so unusual about the way he plays that jizz
That's
organ?
his feet. It's his feet.
Yes,
His
yes,
feet
it
that he's
is. It
using.
is his feet.
Oh man, we getting killed by the guests, man. Come on, guys. We're dying here. They're killing us.
Max Rebo's species is Autolan, and they don't have arms, they just have legs. So he's not sat in the organ, he's sat on the organ, playing it with his toes.
Really?
Yeah.
Go,
We
man.
only know that because we literally saw a TikTok yesterday that we were sharing to each other about that specific fact.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is it the one with the really creepy music in the background that's like Max Rebo deep dive?
Oh,
So they-
no.
Did
No.
did they call it foot fetish? Jizz
No, but
fetish?
But they did say that he was
Great.
rubbing his Max
Oh,
Rebus on the
dude.
keyboard. And it was very
Gross,
I did not like that.
Oh, you can't connect those two, Kyle. It's just gross.
I'm going to move on. Question number 7. Exactly how many times does Darth Maul blink during the Phantom Menace?
Why would anybody know that?
None.
But he
CJ?
doesn't.
3
He
times.
doesn't.
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah,
3
hell.
times. That
You're
point is
special.
yours,
There's something wrong
CJ.
with you. You need to go see a psychiatrist.
guy,
dude.
man.
But you
I
pay
love
that
that.
much attention.
You are really
Yes.
obsessed.
That's
Yes.
my guy. Darth
That's an
Maul,
obsession
Boba
at this
Fett,
point.
Han Solo, those are my
So-
big 3. That's it.
Ray Parks was obviously extremely dedicated to the role of Darth Maul, so the
He's trying to look
blinking was
menacing.
it was firstly a menacing choice. It was to look scary. The second reason is the contact lenses were so uncomfortable and so painful that every time he blinked, the lenses would shift, so he couldn't.
Hey man, that's a great meme, man. I gotta do that meme. I gotta put the meme with the Gorilla Glue and the eyelid like this. Oh, Darth Maul.
The only times that he blinks are when he's being defeated. The first time is when his lightsaber is cut in half. The second time is when his body is cut in half, and the third time is just before he falls down the big pit.
Wow.
I pay attention.
That is, yeah,
I
you
got a
do
point.
pay attention. I am so proud of you. That is insane.
Yeah,
Oh
because
my
then nobody else on the
goodness.
planet
Nobody
know
else
that.
know that.
Ever.
Yeah, that should be worth
Nobody else
bonus.
gonna know
No
that
one else
except for me.
counted.
I don't know whether to be pumped or concerned. Like this guy need to get this guy might need a restraining order. Okay, just put that out there.
Question number 8. In the comics, who defeated Black Chrysanthemum with a pair of electrocuted brass knuckles?
No, it's the other way around.
CJ?
It's the other way around, but it was Chewbacca. Black Chrysanthemum beat.
No, it was C-3PO. C-3PO.
It was C-3PO.
C-3PO is the one that did it. But
technically, he accidentally knocked him out.
yeah, it was an accident. It wasn't even. It wasn't. Black Chrysanthemum hit Chewbacca, knocked Chewbacca out.
Yeah, that's what I was going.
And then when he turned, Black Chrysanthemum still had the things, and he hit C-3PO and it electrocuted him. So technically, C-3PO didn't knock him out.
Technically, he killed himself.
He hit C-3PO and then got electrocuted, and then he passed out.
Semantics.
Semantics. It's fine. We'll move on. Question number 9. What starship is destroyed by Vice Admiral Holdo when she flies through it at light speed?
Snoke's flagship. I'm not sure what the name of it is.
A perfectly good one.
A perfectly good one.
We're still flying half a ship.
You are correct that it is Snoke's ship. If anybody can give me the name of the
Isn't
ship.
it the Dreadnought? It's something Dreadnought?
No, it has
No,
to do
the
with
Dreadnought was the
bird,
other
doesn't
ship in the beginning.
Do you guys want a clue? Yes, Garrison. It is the Supremacy.
Hey, Dylan gave him the answer. Dylan gets the point on that.
Okay. Fair. Oh my goodness. Question number 10. In the comic verse, who gave Black Chrysanthemum the scar over his eye?
Obi-Wan.
Bosk.
Yes, Kyle.
Oh, what?
It was Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan hit him with a lightsaber.
Sorry, guys. Kyle, it was
And you
Obi-Wan
talked about it
hitting him.
earlier, Tommy, when you were talking
You
about
did.
Black
I
Chrysanthemum
was
going
like,
on Tatooine.
I didn't read that much.
Question number, there's a few more. Question number 11. What was the name of Jabba's sail barge?
Oh, I should know this.
Rebel.
The Jizz Crusade.
The Jizz Crusade. Immaculate. Do you guys want a clue? I can give you the first letter.
Okay.
Oh man,
Begins with a K.
Crap, it's spelled with a K.
Hey.
Crash spelled with a K.
Kaput.
Kaboom.
Kaboom.
Chris said Minnesota Viking love boat.
Hey, I'm a Vikings fan. Ouch.
Congratulations to Rural Farm Boy on that one. He is correct. It is Katana. Question number 12. What is the name of the language spoken only between Django and Boba?
Mandalorian.
We hear it a couple of times in Attack of the Clones.
No. I know what they say. He goes, "Hey Boba, you want Zoe?" And then like Boba says something back to him, and then
why am I thinking it's
not a cheese or anything?
Is it Kaminoan?
No.
Dude, I should know this.
Mandoa.
Nope.
Can we get a hint?
Hey, I'm sorry, Dylan.
It's like
and Royal Fanboy. I'm trying to use y'all.
Secret handshake.
Rural Fanboy, you are incorrect. The answer is Fett code. It's a language that Boba and Django made up together, and they speak exclusively between each other.
So they literally speak Pig Latin.
Cute.
So they made up their own language. How are we supposed to know the answer to that? Like, who would know that?
Fettese.
I mean, I should have known that due to the fact that I knew how many times Darth Maul freaking blinked.
Yeah, I was going to
That's
say.
just because you're obsessed.
Jesus.
Fettuccine. No, it's called fettuccine. That's the language. It's like
Fettuccine. Our final question on Charlie's Impossible Quiz this week is, as you know, we have seen the great return of Jizz and the mighty Fig Dan in the latest episode of Book of Boba Fett. What is the name of the real-life instrument that we can see him playing?
The bassoon.
No.
Clarinet.
This is extremely specific.
Oh, really? Okay.
Organ.
No. If anyone would like a reminder, it's the
Jizz horn.
French, no.
It's
Jizz
not a
guitar.
jizz horn. It's also not a jizz horn. It's a flu horn. Thank you.
Are we talking about?
You just give us the answers. It's called the
Are we
flute
talking
horn.
figure and dance instrument or Max Rebo.
Figure and Dan's instrument in the Book of Boba Fett when he's playing in the little in the
I
hula
know
house.
it. No,
Piccolo?
I know this one because I
The
did.
jizz
I wrote a
box.
paper on it. I wrote a paper for music theory about Star Wars, and
The jizz box.
You wrote a paper. I sincerely, I have triple
I took
checked this,
AP
and I'm
music theory, and I
confident.
needed to write about music and media, so I did it. I did it on the Lady
That's
Mode.
amazing.
Because the name
Oh
of
my
Lady
goodness.
Mode for the band is two different types of principles in music theory.
The wang.
The wang.
He's
No.
playing with his wang.
What's the source? Are you really coming out here, rural farm boy, and asking me to cite my own answers? The answer, the actual answer, it is a vintage Gittler Astron 3 guitar from 1983.
I knew that. I knew that.
Ah, yes.
You're the only person on the planet that knew that. Because
It's traditionally used in jazz, I believe, and various other kind of blues, folksy. But
well,
yes,
farm boy, are you asking for the source? What do you mean the source?
The source
of
for
what?
he's at
The
this
source
is
of
right
D's.
after he put
He
Mandalorian.
wants to know where I'm getting my answers from.
The 1,300 books that she got for Christmas.
from your mom's house.
Yeah, the 1,300 books that I got for Christmas.
Fact code Wikipedia right here. I looked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
right here.
the rural farm boy.
Oh.
Don't come
I
into
love you,
my
Roll
house.
Farm Boy.
Don't come
Don't
into my
worry.
house and
Everybody's
try
coming
it.
at you.
I like Royal Farm Boy, bro. He's a
You
genius.
come into my house,
he
you
shouts us
disrespect
out
my
every week on
family.
Twitter.
And he
does.
probably knows more answers to the questions than anybody I've ever seen in the history of time. Like, why would you even
that
know that? You
feels
spend way too much
We got
time.
two right. We got two. That's
We
okay.
got two.
I got
Oh, you
one.
got more than me. I didn't get none. Oh, and no, I did. I got Obi-Wan and
I am extremely impressed. You guys
C-3PO.
smashed it. I had so much fun. Thank you. Thank you for joining in.
Yes.
This is my pride and joy.
Yes.
This is my favorite bit of our weekly shows.
This is my favorite part of the week.
Aww,
I like Wednesdays, damn it.
Wednesdays is fun too.
Oh my goodness.
Can I say something real fast before we get off?
Of course.
Today is my niece's 4th birthday. She listens to us with my brother.
Happy birthday!
I just want to wish her a happy birthday.
Sing happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
No, it's copyrighted. We'll get copyrighted.
Yeah,
The
we'll
Happy
get
Birthday
copyrighted.
song
Don't.
It's copyrighted.
Hey, put
You gotta
on,
sing
put
the
on. Look,
monotone.
who got Leia's?
No.
Leia singing happy birthday. Put that on.
But no, I just wanted to say that real fast because I know she's watching us.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Happy birthday. Woo! A whole 4. Goodness me.
Yeah, I know.
God, my grandson is 4. I'm old.
What were you going to say before I interrupted you, Charlie? I apologize.
I was just going to wrap us all up and say a huge, huge thank you to the guys from 1313 for joining us. I have had a fantastic time, as I'm sure everybody else has. It's been it's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much. You guys are so much fun.
Yeah, we gotta do this again. We definitely gotta do
Yes.
this.
Oh, yeah. Maybe when Jackson's back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
We get our protocol droid back. We'll have you on the.
I am going to have to crack out the extra hard quiz questions, like the extra hard ones.
No, these are already hard enough. What are you talking about extra hard, man?
These are already hard.
I'm a Star Wars fan my whole life, and I don't know half the answers to this crap.
I don't know that.
CJ, I still haven't recovered that you know how many times Darth Maul blinks.
I know.
Obsession.
Sorry.
You need to see somebody about that.
I thought it was not. I thought he didn't blink at all because I couldn't recall when he blinks.
I did because I was like really focused as a kid. I was like, why doesn't he blink? And I stood there and I stared at him the whole time as a kid. I was like, why isn't he blinking? Yeah.
This is you watching episode 1. Is he blinking yet?
He's got like a counter.
There were 3. There was 3.
Hey, that's not 4. That didn't count as a blink. It didn't lower all the way. That's not a blink.
Yeah, one of the ball things. What do they call where you slide the ball across every time something happens?
Oh man.
What are them things called? Oh,
don't know.
Oh man,
This is too much.
I will die on this hill that I am a big Darth Maul fan. Damn it.
No, this is
we
beyond, man.
appreciate it.
Like Garrison said, they might want to get a restraining order because
I've met Ray Park, pound sand.
He
I'm
lives,
sure
like,
you have.
up the road from me.
I'm sure you've been outside his house a whole lot.
No,
I'll go to his
I'm
house.
Sam
for you.
Witwer, and there's a restraining and protection order. Okay.
Oh, he admits it.
Oh jeez. I might as well play with the joke now.
Yeah, that was good.
Oversaturate the market, then the joke goes away.
As always, I am guessing that it is time to say goodbye and farewell to all of you guys and to our fans who've joined us this week. I also didn't get to say this in the beginning. Make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell to join our live shows on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And if you like this video, drop us a like because it means the whole galaxy. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We will see everybody again on a Wednesday. As always, be kind, be safe, and may the Force be with you always. Thank you for tuning into LSR. If you enjoyed the show, consider subscribing so you can be notified when new episodes are released. If you would like to be a guest on the show or just want to give us some feedback, feel free to email us. You can also reach out to us on all major social media platforms. They're linked in the show notes below. LightSaber Radio is produced by Pick Film Media and is a Swaycast original, starring Charlie Harwood, Garrison Turcott, CJ Elliott, and Carl McDaniel. And don't forget to join us next time for more adventures in a galaxy far, far away.